well. And so you can get to it up here as well. So in the marketplace here, there are a bunch of different campaigns that you can download. These are all free. And so you can download them into your system and take a look at them. Some great ideas as well. So, and Ronnie, it was you that asked the question, right?
Correct.
Okay. So one of the things, and let me just run through what this one is for those of you that really aren't that familiar with Campaign Builder. So from some place, I got the traffic. In this case, the example is that the traffic came from the website. It went to, well, that's interesting. Someone opened, maybe, One thing about campaigns is only one person can be in it at a time. So maybe I opened it up on myself when I had the other one open. Okay. Oh, sorry, that wasn't the one I wanted. Okay, so here they've filled out some sort of an opt-in web form, and now the sequence starts. And so it's a great idea to put notes around. So you can just drag this one out and put notes in. And I also like to be really clear about what I do in each sequence. So with this one, I'm applying a tag and giving the report. So of course I can delay the next one, and then I can pull out another email and so on. And so Ronnie's question was, should you run 10 of these, or should you split them up? And I want to make sure I understood the question. Or should you split them up into separate sequence boxes? Isn't that right?
Correct.
Okay. So, and you know what, this is really not a great one. I think this was one when I was really first learning it, because I actually have well, anyway, I probably would do it a little bit differently now. And actually, I would not put these here the way I have this set up. So in this email, I'm probably telling them that the report is available. And one thing I do want to show you, let's see if this one does it. No, I'll have to show you that later. So in this one, all they're doing is they're getting a tag. And by the way, you're probably not, most people probably don't use as many tags as they could. And then they download the report. So this is this is a goal that they met. And then we have some more sequences here. Waits 3 days, sends the follow-up. Waits 3 more days, sends more follow-ups. So in this case, if it's pretty much a sequence of a series of follow-ups, Ronnie, I would probably keep it in the same sequence. Now, where it gets a little hairy is if you want to do, you can do a delay timer, which is waiting so many days and then running. Then shipping out the follow-up message. So from the time the person gets in, waits 3 days, gets the first one, waits 3 more days, gets the second one. If you want to send them something on a specific date and time, which is what this one is, versus a delay timer, you cannot have a delay timer and a specific date timer in the same sequence.
I ran into that, and I was wondering what that was about.
Yes. So if you did want to send something on a specific date, I would pull that out and maybe even run it in a separate line so that you're not, and let's see if we can get that to look a little better. So that you're not messing this one up. So in this one, I could do a delay timer. Sorry, that's not right. A date timer. So in this case, maybe you have a live event coming up or a webinar, and you want to start telling people on a specific date. So regardless of when they came in, you want to have something announced to them. Now, the other way that you could do this is with a broadcast, where you were giving a broadcast to all of the people that were in this group, as well as maybe other groups.
Yeah.
So the date timer isn't used as much, at least I haven't used it as much as the delay. But the important thing to know is that you cannot run them in the same sequence.
Yeah, it's great for an event reminder, too, for people who've registered for something.
Yes, yes. So one of the things I did want to show you is when and this is kind of a little trick one. So when we're talking about tricks, this is one. I think I picked this up actually at one of the user groups that I go to. So how many of you do yeah, go ahead.
On the download report, that's a goal. So essentially that's just tagging it as having downloaded the report. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. So I know that they did it. And see, of course, I could have things going on until they did it. So in here, I could have other messages that would say, did you do it? Did you do it? Don't forget about it. Did you see this on page 5? Be sure to download it. Yada yada until they did it, and then they would go on to this one.
Okay.
Until they
finally. So as soon as they meet that goal, after they take action from the report delivery sequence, it would trigger them being marked for that goal, and then that sequence would stop. The next sequence would begin.
That's correct.
Like that? Okay.
Yes. So in this case, and again, I think I was playing with this one. Now I would make this tag that they did download it, and then gotcha. I would be helping them to consume the content of the report, look at page 5 and, read this or, that sort of thing, and then calls to action till they purchased or until they reached whatever. Goal. Yeah, all the round ones are goals.
Okay.
So that, once you kind of figure this out, all the traffic sources are square. So if you're running a Facebook ad, you can track that into here. And you can do different tracking things with it. But a lot of times I'll do it if I know that I'm running several different things into the same opt-in form, then I'll just drag them all out and link them up to it. That way I know what, and I might, I could put information here about what Facebook ad it was, whatever would help me later to know.
Right. Now, is it going to track the source automatically, or are we going to have to insert additional code for that?
Well, it does track lead sources.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that available in the reports, like where it came from?
Yes,
I think I've seen that somewhere.
There is some lead source stuff. It's one of the things on my list to get more into, and I think they did a mastermind call on that maybe last week. Do you guys, Teresa and Brad, do you know about the mastermind calls?
No.
So on Thursdays, and Teresa, I just unmuted you. On Thursdays,
thank you.
Yeah, they have, Scott Richens does mastermind calls. And let me make a note here to send you, I'll try to forward one over to you. If you guys can put your, actually I have your emails from the GoToWebinar, so mastermind calls. And they do some great stuff. Today it was like a 3-day urgency sequence using evergreen stuff. I usually catch them on the replay, so I haven't listened to that one yet. But you can also vote on topics. So that's so anyway, back to here. The traffic sources are square. The goals are all round. The sequences are basically this rectangle, and then I'll talk to you about this one in just a minute. And then notes, it's kind of a round one, but then it turns into box that you can type into. And you can put HTML in it. One thing it doesn't hold is a script. So you can't put a JavaScript in there. It'll just drop it right out.
Why would you want to put HTML in there? To do what?
Well, I would like to, sometimes I've wanted to put the JavaScript for my web form.
Uh-huh.
And you can't. So sometimes just for, a future reference.
And Java's the one that automatically updates as opposed to copying and pasting a new HTML when you make a change on a form.
That's
right?
correct. So when you go into the web form, and we got some echo. Who doesn't hear an echo?
I don't.
Okay, so Teresa, it's on your end. So if you want to mute yourself and then come back in when you want.
Okay.
So yeah, so when you go here, so when you set up a web form, you put in whatever pieces of information you want to collect, and then you can have, in the thank you page, you can either use the Infusionsoft hosted, or you can actually put in a web address to go someplace on your own site. And then the settings, this is just if you want to get a notification, is really the most common use. You can have it check for duplicates. And then here in the code, this would be the JavaScript. And so if you copy this and you put it wherever you want people to fill out the web form, where they see the web form, then if you come back and change it, maybe you add the last name or the phone number field, this will update. If you use the HTML code or the HTML code unstyled, every change that you make, you'll have to come back and grab the code and copy it back over to where you want the form to show up. And then one more thing you can do is you can actually have a link. So this is another way that you could do it. These are actually the same. This one is just cloaked. And so when you click it, you would send someone. If you did this, you'd want to put, make it more of a squeeze page. I just got the web form. Did that help?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, good. So what I want to show you over here is how many of you do double opt-ins?
I got mixed emotions about it because I've gotten double opt-ins and gone, what a pain in the butt, just send me what I want. But I'm kind of using them just to confirm I'm not getting junked from somebody who kind of clicked it and then went, nah, never mind.
Okay.
We don't use them because there's a lot of reasons, but we don't use them.
Okay. And Ronnie, do you use them?
My client does not use them. However, I've been trying to talk them into using them, since I believe that a person who goes through that process is much more of a qualified lead than a person who doesn't want to take the time.
Yeah, and Infusionsoft likes when your list has a lot of double opt-ins as well. They have some faster servers that I'm not exactly sure if they have better deliverability, but they are faster for sure. So let me show you.
That was the other reason, I believe, because I did a lot of research on that, and I do believe they get priority delivery, and even servers, they're on a different server so that they get preferential treatment.
Right, right. So, but let me show you a little trick that may solve the problem. Usually what people will do is they'll put, after someone requests the free report, they'll put in it's a different sequence. They'll put in the email confirmation, and so they would put it, let's see if we can shift all of these down. By the way, you can just drag all of these. You can highlight all of them, and then you can drag them all at once if you ever need to. And then, so a lot of people will put the email confirmation here, and if you drag something and you want to insert it in between, see how that turned dark blue? it will insert in the middle. Well, oh, I don't know, maybe this one won't. Okay, I'd have to break it. So they would put an email confirmation here, and then go to the, let's shift this a little bit more. When you do this, this is a forced double opt-in. They will not get their report until they go through this process. Until they click that confirmation link, they will not get their report. So that's really a true forced double opt-in. Now, what I like to do is I'll try to get this a little prettier. So much for pretty. All right, there we go. So what I do is I separate them, and then this becomes what I call an optional double opt-in. They will get the email confirmation request, but if they do not follow through and click on it, they will still get the report. So you're not stopping them. You're still going to deliver the goodies to them. But if they do click it, and a lot of people will, my ratio is pretty high of people clicking it because they kind of expect it. And then they will still get the report, and they will still continue on through the sequence. And I do this for every single opt-in. Every time I can, I do this email confirmation because, first of all, because my clients didn't use it either, and so they had, we're trying to get more and more people to double opt-in. And so what happens is after they've double opted in once, they never get it again. So it's only a one-time thing. No matter what they do with you after that, they will not get it again. But if they don't do it, they keep on getting it. They kind of get the best of both.
I like that. That's well worth the price of admission.
That's what I said when I heard it. I got a couple more I'll show you. So another thing that I do then is I will take out another sequence here, and I will put a double opt-in tag on. I actually set up here in my sandbox. But I will actually, once they confirm, I will give them a double opt-in tag. And the reason I do that, a couple reasons. One, I could actually then, I could send to only people who were double opted in. I could see who had double opted in. Now, you can send only to double opt-ins when you do a broadcast, but you can't see who they are unless you tagged them. And then I can also, in the flame scoring, the lead scoring, I can give them a couple of extra points if I want for a period of time, because that, I think as Brad said, kind of tells us that they are more interested than those that did not.
Why do you use a sequence for doing that instead of just a tag?
Well, the only way that you can do a tag is to do it in a sequence.
Oh.
You can't do a tag any other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I meant by there's two ways to do stuff, and I get confused.
Yes, and kind of once that's why it would be great for you to look at some of those in the marketplace, because you'll say, oh, wow, look what they did there. But the only way you can do a tag is you can't see any of these process items until you're inside of a sequence. So until you drag out one of the sequences, you can't get to the processes. And once someone pointed out that out to me, it was a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You could even add a quick thank you for opting in.
You
email
could.
on that. But would that
I
screw up the other sequence?
No, it wouldn't. You can add, you can add other things, and you'll see in some more complicated ones where they've got 2 full sequences running. But I probably would just focus on, focusing them back to the goodies.
Yeah, we're kind of simple folk around here. We can do one thing at a time and do it pretty
Yeah.
good.
Well, if you get the double opt-in, you'll start to, when you look at the performance, actually, I'm not published yet. Hold on. Okay, there's one more thing you need to know about this. When you publish, notice I'm in the performance tab now, and notice I still have some breaks here, and you can't see that whole double opt-in sequence. And the reason for that is because when you split it up, there's a decision diamond here. And so when you click that, and there's all sorts of really super powerful ways to use decision diamonds. It's an if-then sort of thing. For this one, you don't have to do anything but click in it and then go back to your campaign. And now, in a minute here, we're going to be able to, well, we should be able to. And it may not let me do this because I'm in a sandbox. And does everybody know what a sandbox is?
Not the kind you're referring to.
Yeah, well, because I don't have an Infusionsoft account of my own, because I don't run it in my business, this is a play, practice account, but you can't send out any emails through it.
Okay.
So what will happen is once you get into the decision diamond and then you come back out, it will turn light green and you'll have to republish.
Okay.
And then when in this performance area, which of course mine isn't showing now, but as people enter the sequence, you'll see how many people are in the sequence and how many people have completed it and moved on. And what I can see now with my clients in that in this area here is that we already have a lot of people who have double opted in. I can see the difference in the numbers. There's not very many people that need to do it compared to how many have done it. So when I look here in performance on it, I will see some number of people that need to do it and a lot more that have already done it. And I'm seeing those numbers of who have done it increasing over time. And that's, the whole purpose of me doing it this way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So let me show you one more thing. I think I picked this up at one of the meetings as well. Okay, that one isn't it. I want to do it. Let's do a new one here. So I'll put a new sequence on, and then I'm going to bring out an email. And when I go into that email, let's see if it'll do it for us. Okay. So see this message here, having trouble viewing this email? Has everyone seen that?
Yes.
Well, if you have Gmail, they will see your subject line. They will see who it's from, the subject line, and then they will see this. Instead of whatever hook you have, whatever nice copywriting content you've got here, they will see this totally worthless thing as far as getting them to open.
That's it?
What's that?
That's all they'll see is that?
Well, in the subject line, now when they open the message up, they'll see it. But as they're, looking down all of their lists of thousands of emails, they don't, other than their subject line, they don't have a clue what you're talking about because this is what they see next. Hold on here a minute, and I will pull up a picture of that because I actually sent this to someone yesterday. Okay, let me do that in just a minute. So all you have to do to avoid that is okay, so let me try that again. When these are all snippets that you get right from here. And so when you point at one, you can either trash it or you can, kind of point in the blue area and you can drag it. So what I would do is drag this snippet down here someplace where people could still see it, but when they come to my, when they see my message in email, they will be more likely to see the content. So hold on here, let me go and grab the one from yesterday. So Ronnie, the playground, that's just the sandbox. It just lets me, it's a practice. It's a practice area. Okay, so hold on just a second while I find. Okay, so this is what they see in Gmail. I pulled this right out of Gmail. It has your name over here. Then in just 48 hours, one door closes and another opens, and then they see this. And here's the rest. Here's the start of their actual text. But imagine if you could just shift that over. There might be something here in this first line of your email that would be more likely to get them to open than this will.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. I had no idea that showed up in Gmail.
Yeah. So, so all you have to do is just click that box there, and you can drag it down to, where did I stick it? Right there. You can actually delete it, but if you did want to keep it for those that have Gmail, then you can do that. And here's another little trick. When you put in an image, have you ever seen this alt text right here?
Yes. Never messed with it, but I saw it.
Yeah. Well, you can actually, particularly if it's an image that's, that you've hyperlinked to something that you'd like them to go to, you can put, you can actually put in a message. And then if they don't see images, they'll see the words. So they'll see click here. So if you've ever seen in Gmail, if you've ever seen one and it says, company logo on it, you'll know that they don't know this trick.
Okay. So now I got a whole bunch of emails to go back and fix.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when you see people's stuff coming in, you'll start to say, oh, they don't know that trick about moving the image, the click here to see the image down, and they don't know that you can change. See now how it says click here? Before it just said company logo.
Yep.
So, and if you get a double opt-in message and you don't double opt-in and you never get anything else, then you'll know that they don't know that trick either.
Mm-hmm.
So, what
if all your stuff is in legacy?
Well, that is a good question. I would want to look at those on a case-by-case basis. But moving forward, particularly in internet marketing, people are always bringing out new stuff. So I just set everything new in Campaign Builder. But it's really, once you start to use the Campaign Builder, it is a lot easier to see what's going to happen. Particularly if you have somebody new coming in, it's much easier for them to see than all those action steps and stuff. Now, for you, Teresa, you probably know exactly what everything's doing.
Well, I was just going in yesterday to change a bunch of things because the post office is taking longer to deliver their stuff, so we were changing the number of days. And I didn't have any idea that this Campaign Builder was like this. All I've ever worked in is legacy.
Mhm. Yeah. It's
So
very, very powerful. This is,
it looks
this
like
is a
it.
pretty, yeah. And it takes a little bit of time to actually get, to get good at it, like anything else. But let me see if there's another one here that, well, let's take a look at this one. I haven't, these were ones I think I downloaded, or I was actually, when I first started it, there was some training I was looking at, and they were telling to do these things, and I was making them as I went. That was how I learned. So in this one, they were using their existing list, and some of them, they must have put a holiday promotions tag on them. Yeah, there's no tag in there yet. And then they sent out, let's see what they did here. Didn't do anything there. Oh, they were going to, I remember this one, they were going to do a holiday promotion, and they were going to say, would you like to see product 1 or product 2? And then what they did was they tagged them, that each of those was tagged in the email. Do you all know how to do that?
No, not exactly. Not
Okay.
easily, anyway.
All right. Hold that thought for a minute, Brad, and I will go back to that. So depending on what item they chose, they would get into a different sequence. And so in this case, they would get to see it, and then they would do whatever you had them doing here. If they purchased it, then they would get tagged, and they would go on down the road. And if they ended up not purchasing it, perhaps after some period of time, you could offer them, product 1 again. So again, this kind of shows you the 2 possibilities. And there's no decision diamond because the campaign builder isn't making any decisions. The viewer of the email has made a decision by clicking a link to say that they want product 1 or product 2.
Okay. That prompts one question from me. When they click the link in the email, how is that set up to where it knows which direction to drive them?
Okay, that's a good question. Let's actually take a look at that. I think we can cover the question about the linking as well. So what I would do here is and we're not going to make this pretty, of course. And you'll see if people see green stuff, you'll know they don't really know what they're doing either. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Maybe that'll be easier to see. So I would put would, well, this will be good. Would, because it'll be big. Would you product 1 or product 2? Obviously, this wouldn't be the whole thing that I would do. But I would select this content, and just like in WordPress or anything else, I would link it to the product 1. So www.mydomain product 1. And at this time, see the tag here? I can actually apply tags to it, and so I could select whatever it was, a product 1. And I can actually create a new one here. It's a little bit messy sometimes because you can't see these where it has behavior and then this bracket and then something else. These are the categories.
Okay.
So I can't, in some places I can do categories and the tag. In other places I cannot. This is one of the cannots. So I would have to just do that, and then I would have to go back to my tag list and put this in the appropriate category. But this would tag them for product 1, and anything else, if I had interest tags, that gave me some other information, whatever that was. And then I could do the same for product 2. And at this time, I would do and tag them for product 2. And you got to be sure to check done or you won't get it.
Okay.
And so now, if they click Product 1, they're going to go to the Product 1 page, whatever that sales page or information page is, and they will be tagged because they clicked that.
Oh, okay, so that's where those tags go. All right.
That's right. And that's how do it know whether they chose 1 or 2 is because the tag was tied to the hyperlink. So when they clicked it, it was automatically tagged.
That's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, Teresa says that's easier than legacy tagging. Yeah. Yep, it's very simple. And you can have, again, you can have as many tags as you want. So let's go back here. And we have 1 tag already. Let's see what else we might have that we might like. Let's just make up something. We don't care. And so based on, those tags, we can have different things happen along the way.
Okay.
And then you always want to make sure, of course, to put it into ready mode. You can tell if you don't have it, because first, if you still have it in draft mode, you'll have black. So if I put this into ready mode, oh, okay, there's something, I don't have this anymore. It doesn't like us to do some of the template stuff that if you don't have templates set up for your own company, that it doesn't like us to do that. So now it's light green, so that tells me that I still need to do another step. And if I get all the way back to my campaign and I've got things that are black, then that again tells me I got to go back in and put it into ready mode. And now it's light green, and it will only turn dark green once I publish. So if you have something that's not working, it's not following through, it's probably because you have something still in draft mode.
Okay.
All right, what else? Any other questions?
No, I think that's enough homework
That's
for me for the rest of the night.
All right.
That's
good.
It's like a completely different program than what it was in 2008.
Oh yes, yes. I know. I became an online business manager in 2009, and it was it was starting to eke out, and I was like, I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. But now I do support some One Shopping Cart, but I won't take on anybody new that's using One Shopping Cart. Some of my current clients are, but I won't take anyone new because there's just so many things you can't do with One Shopping Cart.
I'm not familiar with that, but
yeah. Well,
yeah, but this sequences is pretty cool. That's really different.
Yes, and this really follows, for years Infusionsoft has done that perfect customer life cycle, where they've drawn these out, and everybody kept saying, we want that Gliffy, we want those images in our Gliffy, and then so instead they just made this for us that actually works. And another thing, let me see if I can show you one more thing, Teresa, I think you will like. And Brad, I don't know if you know about the e-commerce setup. Do any of you know about that?
I think I got it right, but nobody's bought anything yet, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, when you go into
we have it all.
Go ahead.
We have a lot of that set up, but it's just we don't have the storefront built out because our storefront is in ZenCart.
Okay.
But a lot of this is done, but it's just not done correct. It needs to be finished.
Okay.
So I am familiar with a lot of this.
Okay. Well, you may have started out probably with the legacy order forms, or you may have actually gone right from products and sent people the product links. That was one of the ways we used to do it. So you'd get a link here, and then you could send them right to the order form, or you could put the order form at the bottom of the sales page. And it did look a little bit better than that, but not much. Now what we do is...
Yeah, that's what mine looks like now when it's
okay.
kind of funky.
So what you probably want to do is to go into e-commerce setup, and then after you set up your products, you'll set those up the same way. But you'll actually, and this was a hard concept for me as well, so I'm happy to clue you in on it, is after you create the product, it's actually a two-step process. You create your order form. And so let's create a new one. And you'll pick an existing product. And sometimes you have to do it twice. Was that expert? You know what? I don't know if I even, let's see what I have in terms of products. This is picking up stuff from my other clients. So we've got renew. Okay, let me try this one. That's why it didn't do it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to e-commerce setup, which again, there were two places to get it. I could have gone here or there. And then I'm going to go to order forms again. And let's see if we have that product. Okay, so I named it, and now let's see if it'll find the product for me. Yes, so you want to make sure that you get it right, that it drops down here. I like to name my order forms the same as my product. Just keeps things clear. So when you do that, let me show you what that order form looks like. And I haven't set up the order forms on this, but isn't that nicer?
Yeah, it's nicer, but I never could figure out how to get rid of all the extra stuff that doesn't apply to my product on it and customize it. Plus, I wasn't sure how it worked into, God, I can't remember the shopping cart that I'm using. It's not one shopping cart, it's something else.
Oh, you're using a different shopping cart than Infusionsoft?
Well, I'm using a different, I guess, the online processing part, the money part.
The merchant account?
Yeah, it's not PayPal. It's the other one they recommend. It begins with an
Authorized.net?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. So this...
Does this link to that?
Pardon?
Does this link to Authorized.net?
Yes. And when you use these order forms, and Teresa, think about this for a minute and see if I said this, if I say this correctly. Before when you would set these up, when you would set up the old legacy order forms, you actually had to physically tell it which shopping cart you wanted to use. And you don't have to do that when you use these new order forms. It assumes that you want to use the one that's set up, and you can also use PayPal on the same order form. So if we look back over here, I don't think I have PayPal set up, but I would be able to choose from PayPal here if I have that set up.
And the authorized net is set up through your settings, Brad.
That's right. That's
set
up in your...
I'm sure I did that, but it was a long time ago, and I was very confused.
Yeah, you know, some of those things, actually, that's going to be here in e-commerce. You know, after you know, when you first start doing it and you see people, you know, noodling around in here, it can be pretty overwhelming. It's not been that long since when I had my people doing this and I didn't know it. It was hard.
Well, that's good to know that it's hard for everybody and not just my big bell learning curve.
No, it is. And, you know, adults, I've been teaching adults for over 30 years, and adults will learn something when they find it, when they see the usefulness in it. And that was me. If I could have somebody else do it, I was afraid of it. And I was afraid I would mess it up. And finally I said, you know, that isn't going to fly anymore. And so I got into it, and there's still a lot I don't know. There's some people in the San Francisco users group that are totally amazing, blow me away every single time. But, you know, what do they say? To a third grader, a fourth grader is an expert. So
Yeah.
I'm a fourth grader.
No, I'm still playing in kindergarten, but we get to take naps and have cookies and milk, so I'm not complaining.
But it's a great program, and, you know, they really have come a long way. And there's a lot of really cool add-ons as well out there. We use iMember for memberships because everything is controlled by tags. It's the only membership product that interacts with the tags in Infusionsoft. So you can, you know, the only thing you have to set up, tags in a certain way, and when you do that and you go over to iMember, which is a plugin, then it will be able to find your membership, and then you can mark the content for whichever membership it belongs to. So if you have a, you know, bronze, silver, and gold packages, then bronze people get certain content and gold people get different content, and it's all controlled by tags. And if you want to upsell them, then you know that they don't have some of the tags that would be the next sequence for them to buy, and so you can show them certain things based on their tags. So
yeah, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. And then the other one that I'm just starting to use is one called Plus This. Have any of you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
That one, there's a couple things we're going to use that for. And
is that a plugin?
It's a plugin. Mm-hmm. And a couple things that are really cool about it. If you do much with video, it will track how long people have watched videos. So there's a guy, Tracy, you might have heard of him, Jermaine Griggs. He's been around for a while, Marketer of the Year a couple years back. I signed up for some of his stuff.
No, but that's like Wisteria, I think.
Yeah, like Wistia.
The video tracking is probably like Wisteria.
Yeah, it's something like Wistia. And you can even, it's compatible with Wistia. So.
Okay.
But what it does is so with his content, he was doing automation in Infusionsoft, and I was just sucking up his content. And so instead of making me wait 2 or 3 days in between, the video tracking could tell that I was sucking it up, and it delivered me the content faster.
Cool.
So that's a really good one. You can have it has a built-in SMS that Infusionsoft does not. So if you want to send a text message as part of your sequence, so when we're looking over here at Campaign Builder, with Plus This, I could drop in, and it would be one of the sequence items. I could probably, I'm guessing, that over here in Process is going to have an SMS that I could have it do. Or probably in Communications, actually. Yeah, probably in Communications. There's going to be an SMS one once I set that up. It won't be in my sandbox. It also does really cool things with GoToWebinar. So right now, if you use GoToWebinar, basically, if you have nothing else, you're just using GoToWebinar, and you want to get those people into your Infusionsoft, you have to download either the entire list the entire list and split up the attendees and the non-attendees and the registered and upload it, tag them individually, and it will, if those people are already in your database, you will have duplicates. So you'll have, if they registered and you upload that list, they'll be in there twice, and if you uploaded that they attended, they'll now be in there 3 times. And you have to go through and clean up your duplicates. So that isn't a very good, that's a really bad problem. So there are some things out there. There's one called Webinar Core that you can use that will get the registered in, but it doesn't tag them for attending and non-attending. So this Plus This is the only one that I know of that will handle everything with no duplication, no uploading or downloading or anything. And then another thing, Ronnie, so you have a question, hold on, I'll get right to you. You can also do, with the customized thank you pages, you can daisy chain them into upsells and downsells. So when they do something, you can tag them in, and it's much easier. You can do some of it in Infusionsoft, but you can do it a lot better and fancier and that sort of thing with Plus this. Some other things I haven't gotten to yet. I thought there was one more. Oh, this one is going to be one we're going to do too. One of my clients has a ton of content. And so this will take all your content, load it up into a library, and based on what the prospect has said they were interested in, will automatically figure out what to send them next.
That's impressive.
Isn't that though?
What's the price?
Ronnie, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, what's the price on that one?
You know, it's actually fairly reasonable, and I'll tell you a trick that we did at least. When you sign up for their free guide, it's very interesting to watch. They will know that you haven't signed up for the trial, and they will keep bugging you, and they will offer you a discount, a 35% lifetime discount. And they have a great webinar, which I believe that they'll send you as well. So sign up for it. It's fun. And I have an affiliate link if anybody wants that. But in terms of pricing, it's funny how they price it. They do it 25 features, and I believe that if I have 25 webinars, I've used up the features. So obviously I'm going to be letting go. I'm going to be reusing my webinars as they are completed. And that is my understanding of it. It's on my schedule for, I'll probably spend Saturday morning going through it. So you get 25 SMS messages a month. I assume that that is 25 different messages, not how many people get them. So if it's in your sequences, 25 sequences, and then all of the features that I just showed you. So, you know, in terms of, I mean, just a few of the things, you know, I mean, if my client has 10 webinars a month, which is not unusual, you can see that I'm quickly going to make our money back at the $59 a month, very quickly, before I do anything else with this program.
Yeah, it's a little more advanced than where I'm at now, but it's good to know.
Well, it is good to know what's possible because, you know, once it's sort of like, you know, what do they say when you get a new car and suddenly you see them everywhere. And so sometimes when your eyes are open to what's possible, you know, suddenly you say, hey, I have a ton of content. It would be great if it knew, you know, if it could determine what to send out next and I didn't have to figure that all out. Or if you have a lot of videos, like with the Germain stuff that, you know, I don't know, that was probably a month's worth of content, and, you know, I think I got it over a period of, you know, probably less than a week because I was just watching them like crazy. And then he did another interesting thing. If you got all the way through it, he would let you download it. I don't know how he did that, but you couldn't download it unless you watched it all the way through, and then you could. So I don't know what his strategy was there. But I'll show you one more trick that isn't Infusionsoft. Let's see if I can make something do it. So, okay. So right here, do you see this little thing that's spinning up here in my toolbar?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my highlighter out here. Right here. So if you download that, that's just an add-on for an extension for Firefox. When I click it, I can actually, a lot of times, now an FLV isn't going to be worth much, but I can download and convert this to an MP4. So you can download about 90% or maybe more of the videos that are out there with that little tool.
What's the name of that tool and where do I snag it?
It's called Download Helper, And if you go to your add-ons here under Tools and Add-ons, if you go to Get Add-ons and do Download Helper, let's see if it'll show up here. I've had it for so long. You may have to do it from, I don't know which one of these, and then do download, and then you'll be able to just enable it, and when the next time that you boot up, you'll have it.
That'll come in real handy.
Yep, that's a good one. You guys up for a couple more?
Yeah, and then I gotta take off.
Yeah, we
I
need
gotta
to
go
go
do some
here.
family stuff.
So this one, Down Them All, is a really great one. If you have a page that has a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be downloaded, you know, somebody, you know, they give you, 25 different things that you can download. If you use Down Them All, it will do all of them, let's see, at once. So I don't have any on this page, but it would give you the list of everything that's on the page that's downloadable, and then you can pick whether you want, and it'll give you, I can click them or unclick them, and I can choose different, where did that go? I was trying to make it a little bit bigger for you. Oh, this is interesting. It changed. Oh, well, that's because I checked archives. So, if I want, obviously I don't want all these things to download, but if you really had downloadable stuff on there, and then when you tell it where you want it to go, and you click Start, and it downloads them all at once.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a big time saver. I've downloaded, I don't know, I think like 1,000 of them. Sometimes they periodically ask me for some money, and I send them some money because it's free, and it's a great little product.
Yeah, that'll come in handy.
Yeah. So, well, I think I'll let you guys go. Thanks for being here with me tonight. My name is Cindy Morris, and if you have questions, feel free to touch base. We do have the the Facebook users group, and so I'd like to hang out on there. And I know Sharon,
how often do you meet?
Kelly do too.
How often do you
every
guys
month.
meet? And about how many people are normally there?
Let's see. Last time we had, definitely less than 10.
Okay, so it's nice and manageable, and everybody knows each other, right?
Well, like I said, Sharon and Kelly and I, the times that I have been now, I don't think that anyone has come back.
Really?
I think everyone has been a first-timer.
Yeah, I just don't know about going downtown at night, so, because I live out in Fair Oaks. But
and I don't know if there's anyone. I live in Elk Grove, so I don't know if anyone comes in from that way. But I like doing webinars or hangouts or things because it does. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make it convenient. If you do want to go downtown, though, maybe we can carpool. Because I'm out in Citrus Heights.
Oh, cool. Okay, that gives me a good idea. And Cindy, what we need to talk, I think, about.
Okay.
I'd like to be able to talk to you about getting maybe some. You hire. I mean, you're a consultant, right?
Right.
You can help me get some stuff set up as far as the other thing.
I
Okay.
sure can.
How would I reach you?
You know what? I am on Facebook, but I'll go ahead and put my.
You have my email?
I do.
Could you send me some information?
I will be glad to do that.
And you want my work?
Can you CC me that?
And I'm sending it in the chat box as well.
Okay.
But yes, I have both of your emails, so I'll be happy
Here,
to
I'll
follow
give you
up
my.
with
Let me give you my work number.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let everybody go. Have a good night.
Okay, well,
Cindy,
thanks for coming,
doing
Brad.
this. I really appreciate it.
Sure thing. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, and Ronnie, thanks for being here too. And I'm gonna go ahead and send everyone the mastermind information too.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
All right, great.
Okay.
Well, Teresa, I will. Let me give you a call tomorrow. I've been up since 6 this morning at the office.
Yeah.
So
I've been up since 5, so I know.
Okay, great. I'll touch base with you tomorrow, and thanks, Ronnie, for being on the call too. Look forward to talking to you more next time.
Thank you much. Have a good night.
Thanks,
So good night,
Amy.
everybody.
Good night.